right, welcome back to the weekly grind. Where are we now? We're back home, training. Getting ready to go to Mexico at the end of the week. How's practice been, boys?
Good. What's the joke? We don't have to dig into practice.
You're gonna say more.
No, we don't have to dig into practice. Tell me about your first ATP point, Evan. Do you remember when you got your first point?
Yeah, I think it was what was it, 2015?
I wasn't there.
I wasn't there
I
either.
I think you were there, weren't you?
Where was it?
New York Challenger on clay.
Future, you mean?
I mean Future, yeah.
Was it Buffalo that we talked about the other day?
Where did I play you in for the first time?
We played in Rochester.
Okay, maybe
I was there too.
It's maybe Buffalo. The week before. Maybe it was a week before.
Buffalo?
Yeah, Buffalo.
That was your first point?
I think so. Yeah, I had qualified in. I won a round. It was 3 sets, but the sets were pretty up and down. The sets weren't close, I think, so it wasn't too nerve-wracking towards the end.
Mm-hmm.
And then second round, I was up 5-0 on the 1 seed.
Feeling
I
good.
was feeling good.
First point, ready to take the title?
Yeah, I was ready to take it. I was like, I'm here. But ended up losing that match, like 6-3 or something, 6-4. But yeah, that was my first point. Yeah.
Okay.
Took you long to get it? Like, how long were you playing before you got the first point?
I just played a couple of futures here and there. I think that was around the time when I started like really playing more futures.
Mm-hmm.
Before that, it was just like I played some local ones in California, but I don't think I traveled too much to play like that many futures yet. So yeah, I was just starting to ramp up.
Yeah.
You?
So you were part of this story because I went to
Dominican,
and we actually roomed together and we played first round qualies both weeks.
I had a great time.
So
I lost both weeks.
So first week I qualified in and I lost maybe got lost to somebody like that. Then the second week we played again and then I qualified in and I actually played my teammate from USF at the time. And this might have been in 2015, November, December. Peter Bertrand. Yeah, the match wasn't that close. Like I think I played a pretty good first set. And I think, I don't know, he seemed like he got pretty upset. And kind of the second set was kind of a breeze, which was nice. Because it's always like very nerve-wracking to get over these humps. Like the first point was a big deal. I feel like I chased it for maybe like more than a year. Like I didn't play often because I was in school, but whenever you got a chance, you felt like it was a big deal, you know. Ended up winning that match. Then I played the guy who beat me the week before again.
But it was on hard. The second week was on hard.
First
You
week on
lost
clay.
on clay the first week.
Then I actually think I lost the first at 7-6. We went up a break in the second, and he retired. So that's even better. Now we're into the quarters of a 25K. So I had, or 15K at the time, but that's 25K now these days. So I had 3 points. And I remember in the quarters, I was up, I want to say like 7-5, maybe like 2 breaks. And the guy was getting mad with the referee. He thought that he was cheating for me. So he got a 1-0 early in the match. And then later in the match, he actually told the ref that he said, "You trying to help the guy win or what?" And then the ref called Jimmy. So I was thinking, yeah, we good.
It's a wrap.
Yo, we entered the semis, 8 points.
Great match.
I went from 0 points to 8 points in my mind already. Jimmy said, "Play on," and I couldn't make a ball from there on. And then I think I lost maybe 5-2. Yeah, but good memories because it's like you're the most that you've been in your life, and then you kind of get like this big relief. So yeah. And what about you? When was your first one?
Mine was in Canada. I got 25. So it was my first year playing pros, maybe 2017. And to a little backstory, my first pro tournament. So I didn't have a national ranking at the time. Well, I had one, but I didn't have it on IPIN or whatever. So I had to play the wildcard tournament, and I just wanted to get a wildcard into qualies. So I played the wildcard tournament, and I found myself in the finals of the wildcard tournament. If I won, I got a main draw wildcard. I think I played maybe 4 or 5 matches to get to the finals. Lost to the finals to Liam Caruana, a good player. He got the wildcard to main, so I played qualies. So I played 5 matches. Then I played qualies. This is when Florida was 128 draw. So then I played 128, 64, 32. then lost.
You played a Grand Slam.
I think I was up a set.
Point.
I was up a set in the last round qualies and lost. And I think the day before I beat someone like 800. So it's my first futures playing like out of college. So I was like feeling good, playing well. But I didn't qualify. Then I played maybe 4 or 5 months of futures. And then I went to Canada, qualified. Then first round I played maybe another qualifier. I had no points. And I won like pretty straightforward, like maybe 3 and 5. I think at the end of the match it got tricky because I was up a double break and I lost one. But then closed it out. So won that match. Then the next day I played the 1 seed, lost.
Chop.
4 and 3. Have some respect. And then the next week in another city, another 25K, I qualied, played another qualifier, won again, then played the same 1 seed again.
So life was good to you those couple of weeks.
Same score. Yeah, those two. And I think the first one I also made finals of doubles. So I got my first ATP point singles, and I made finals of a 25K in doubles. So yeah, good 2 weeks.
First singles points in juniors or pros harder for you to get for the feeling?
Juniors, I think.
Juniors was way worse for me.
Junior was so hard.
like ITF points?
Yeah.
I feel like it was pros for me.
Pros is harder to get?
Yeah.
I think maybe because I played only a handful of ITFs until I was like 17. I played only the summer ones. I didn't play that many tournaments as a junior. Just in the summer, like out of school, I'd play those. So when it finally came, I think I got doubles points first, but it counts as one.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, that's a big deal.
Yeah, you want to get into the questions? We have a lot to cover today, actually. I'm kind of excited. We did some research into some things, and we have some exciting topics. So the first question comes from Chris in Surrey. Hopefully I pronounced that right. But the question is, so Andy Murray won a challenger this week. Is it annoying when someone from high up in the rankings plays down to get practice, or is it good to test yourself against these players? Who wants to take this, Evan or Justin? One of y'all can take it away.
I mean, we can all do it. But
Yeah, I'll go.
Go for it.
I think you always see it in 2 ways. I mean, obviously it is a little annoying when these players drop down, but at the same time, in my head, I feel like the goals I have and where I want to be, you're gonna have to beat these players eventually. Yeah. So it is definitely a good test. See where they're better than you. See where they're beating you. I mean, hopefully you can beat them, but but yeah, I think a little bit of both. It's and it just I think depends on which way you view it more, I guess. But it's definitely a bit of both. Yeah. For me.
That probably happens at all levels too. So Evan can relate to that from, So first of all, to give a little bit of a backstory, the challenger that Murray won this week, it's a new category of challengers. So it's the highest level, right? It's like 175K, which is a new category for this year. So even though it's categorized as a challenger, it's very, very strong. So you wouldn't see typically Andy Murray playing a challenger, but
and Tommy Pauly beating the finalist, top 20 in the world right now.
Exactly. And I'm sure if we look at how the week went, I mean, I don't know exactly how the week went, but he would have beaten a bunch of other really good players. Yeah. So it's kind of like how Phoenix was a couple of months ago. Exactly. It's the same thing. But I guess what I was going to say is that it happens at all levels. So it happened where these guys are now playing down into the new 175K, but then it also happens where these guys at challengers play down into futures, like play down into 25Ks. Guys who it doesn't have that much value for them points wise to play in the 15s and 25s, but they still play down. Maybe if they, if they were injured, haven't played that many matches recently, or if they just want to pick up a few points here, they get some matches in. So it happens at all levels. So that's why I guess we can all relate to this question. So.
Yeah, I think for me, I look at it as test, like a measuring stick, like to see where I am and maybe where I need to improve, or if I'm closer than I thought I might have been to that level already. Like, I remember for me this year, it was the first tournament back in Palm Coast. Like, I won the wildcard tournament, got in, won my first round.
15K, right?
15K.
Yeah.
And then I played the 1 seed Argentinian guy. He was like 270 playing a 15K. I lost 4-4, which was annoying. I didn't feel like I played my best tennis, but it was good to see that I felt like I was in the match with a guy of such a level, and I hadn't played many matches because I was injured before that. So it was like a good measuring stick, or like a, what do you call it?
Litmus
reference
test.
point, whatever you want to call it, for where my game is at the
It's a
time.
big word, huh? Litmus.
You see it?
Not that big, but it's high level.
Yeah.
But
It's UCLA.
yeah.
UCLA education.
A year and a half UCLA.
Yeah.
But yeah, you just try to use that as a test and try to take the positives from it. It's gone the other way too, where I think I've beaten guys who, let's say, have played down or.
But that's not necessarily uncommon because, first of all, I mean, what we'll discuss later, you'll see that the level is not that far off. I feel like usually when these players play down, and also they play down for a reason. Like I said, they play down because maybe they were hurt in the past, they haven't played that much matches, or they're lacking confidence. So, I mean, first of all, they're playing down, but also they're not feeling probably like how
and
they.
there's more pressure on them to do well.
Correct.
And then like I remember, I don't know, Evan last year played Hugo Humbert, whatever. I'm not sure how to pronounce his name properly. And I think he used to be like top 30, and then he was playing challengers last year. So that's probably, I don't know if you talk about that much, but I think it's good to test yourself. And if you want to make it, you have to play these players like Evan said. You have to play them eventually.
That's the only way you can look at it. If you look at it any other way, like I'm so unlucky why these guys playing these tournaments. I mean, everyone. I feel like when you look at the list, it's always the first question, like, why is this guy playing this tournament? But then eventually you just have to suck it up and get through it because.
And then when you win those matches, it's like a bigger boost. It gives you even more, let's say, motivation or confidence that okay, I'm on the right path and I can do this as well if he can do it. So.
It's hard because do you remember Oscar's question or AJ's question to Oscar a few weeks ago in Trinidad was like, if you ever played any match, like for really tough match for just 1 point, you played someone like 200, 300, that's what happens.
Yeah, that would have been for 2 points to make the quarters. Yeah. Someone that you would hopefully be playing in challenges in a few months.
Exactly. You know? It's worth a lot more points. Hopefully more money you'd play them.
For
but
sure.
Yeah, that's how it goes. Okay, let's go to the next question. So this is from Zavi from Barbados. How important is a good support system?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I think it's huge. You're out there by yourself a lot of the time. So for me, that there are different support systems. Like it's a support system when you're with your friends on the road, that helps. That's one. Then there's people you have at home, sponsors. There's.
You think a sponsor is a support system? Or do you think a sponsor sometimes can add pressure to the situation?
I mean, it's both. You don't get one without the other. You know what I mean? Like, they're helping you to be out there, but at the same time, they probably expect you to have some sort of results because they're putting some funding behind you. So, I think, like, we used to have this mental coach who would talk about, I don't know if it was filling water in a cup or like a boat or something, but basically, you want people around you that are gonna, let's say, fill your cup with water and not drain the cup. So, for me, I don't really like when, let's say, a support system person will, like, I don't know, put too much input on, let's say, my results or how things are going if it's going bad. Because then I feel like I'm already doing anything I feel like I can do to do well. So I don't feel like your 2 cents necessarily is helping me. If anything, is draining me and it's stressing me out even more.
Because I think probably because you value their opinion too. Because it's not people that you don't care about.
You care how they view you,
care.
But then it's also like you aren't really there day to day to see what's going on. So like they always talk about like the process and following the process. But then sometimes people who love you and care about you want to see you winning. And it's hard for them to kind of see where you might be in the process. Because like I feel like in tennis, things can be going well in terms of your improvement, which means results are coming soon, but they won't show in the results right away. So you could be close to like a breakthrough, but the people who are supposed to be supporting you are like panicking because they don't see it yet, you know? So for me, I just really enjoy it when the people who support me, they focus on my effort and me having the right state of mind, and they just really want to support as instead of trying to give input, because I feel like I already have a coach for that. I have people I train with for that. Like all I need from you is your love, your encouragement, and I guess your ear if I need to vent or anything like that. You know? So but it's hard for them too because they want to see you do well. So you have to kind of take the bad with the good sometimes. But at the end of the day, I think it's very important to have people in your corner because the road can be difficult at times.
But it's probably better to have people that would almost say too much than people that you don't have the access to that at all.
Yeah,
You know,
for sure.
like I'll take a little bit of bad with the good than have nothing at all. You know
For
what I
sure.
mean?
For sure.
What about you? Support system thoughts?
Yeah, I just think your support system has a big effect on your mind and your mentals. And you hear the top guys talk about it all the time in their speeches. Like, I want to thank my team, blah blah blah. This person helped me out so much this week, or they helped me with this. Like, had my mind right and stuff like that. So, and you always hear people talk about how mental tennis is, and like compared to the physical. So I think support team is very important. It might be hard sometimes to find, especially if you're on the road by yourself in the lower level tournaments as well. You can't afford to have that many people travel with you, if any at all. So
I think that's the hardest thing, right? Like what
Yeah.
Justin said, these people don't always see what's
Yeah.
going on.
Yeah,
You know,
exactly.
so they talk about the process and stuff, and they care a lot, but they don't see the work that you've been putting in every day. That's why I find it interesting about the podcast now that we've started the podcast, because my support system, well, some of them at least, now they see week by week, an episode comes out, they see what we talk about, they see the work we put in. It's not like that in tennis, because in tennis we train all week, but no one sees any videos. No one sees the improvement. No one sees. I don't have a clock how I worked for this amount of hours. I don't report back to,
For
you know. So I think it's interesting. It would be a little bit easier if they can see, you know.
For sure.
And then, yeah. And I think also, me personally, I used to get overwhelmed by a lot of messages every day, because, I mean, I feel like I'm very personable, so I respond to a lot of messages from a lot of different people. So if I can play a match and I get, you know, messages from people I care about, I respond to all of them individually, and then maybe some of them want to talk about the match, whether it went good or bad. So it gets repetitive. But I prefer that than,
Nobody
like I said,
cares.
having nobody at all, you know. So I'll take a little bit of the, I guess, repetitive stuff for what it's worth. You know, it's important to me to feel like people care about me. You know what I mean? So, yeah. And also, on top of that, we have, like, our peers here. Like, you guys watch, and we talk every day in the group chat. Obviously, my coach, well, when I was working with the, you know, fitness trainers in Texas, we used to talk all the time. So I think all of that's important in, you know, in my process at least.
And sometimes too, like, I don't know if you feel the same way, but there are times like when you play a match, and for me, like if you're there, it might help me, because like sometimes, I don't know, it's a big moment in a set, and if you were by yourself, it feels overwhelming. But if you're someone who cares about you, there to give you a look or something, that can calm you down. So I feel like having a coach or a friend on the road makes a huge difference for me. Like, yes, because it can really be very lonely out there, and you can kind of make things bigger than they are in your own head.
It's nice to be able to look outside and see a familiar face.
Sure.
You know.
For sure. Otherwise, sometimes
That's why you're mad at me when you look over at me playing Nick Chappell in Cancun, and I'm just in my phone.
phone. That's the worst. But I think about it, I do the same thing sometimes too. Like, I realize sometimes you be playing, and maybe you would look up at me, and I might be talking to Chris, so I might be.
I am so bad with that. Like, I am so bad with, like, I can sit there and watch the match and support, but like to really pay attention to what's going on, and like how, like if I watch a set and a half of your match and then Chris comes up and tells, "Hey Jody, what's been happening?" It's like,
I don't know. I follow the match pretty rough. But,
On that, I think, especially like playing in front of bigger crowds, it's even more, at least for me, it's even more important, because when there's more people out in the stadium, and you have like no one that you know there, it's like I feel like you have no direction. You're just like wandering around.
kind of distracting, maybe.
Yeah, a little bit. But when
You're like a focal point.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I feel like even just like in Morelos, my doubles partner came and watched me in like a tough part of the second set. And then I felt like every time I won a big point, I could look at him and give a fist pump. But before, I was just like...
That changed. That changed with you, huh? You weren't like that before.
No,
I remember when we lived in Texas.
Yeah.
And we would go to Futures before. Like, I remember one trip, we went to Canada. And it was me, you, AJ, maybe. And you played your match, and you were just gone. You're at Subway. So then AJ's playing, and I'm there watching AJ and Evans in Subway chilling. Like... But now you're different now, I think.
Yeah,
you see it a little bit differently now.
Especially, just playing experiencing it myself more. I mean, playing in some like tournaments where there's not that many people watching, for me it doesn't matter as much, but especially when it's like bigger stadiums, a lot of people there, it feels really nice to have like a direction and someone to look at like in between points and stuff like that. So
I remember I was in Cancun when you guys left. Remember that we were on a 4-week trip there and we were staying together.
Oh, the week you won Cancun.
And I had to go to the thing. There was like this little kid who came to my matches every day. And it was like me and him. You know what I mean? Like, that was nice. You know,
that's fine. That's like in Trinidad last week or last 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Like every match we played, we had each other there watching and stuff.
But then your father was there.
Dad was there.
Yeah.
A few boys were there, and we had
you
one.
Xavi, you had Matthew, you had these guys there.
And Peter.
Yes.
We were there. So I played Davis Cup in Trinidad last year. So I played throughout the week. I had a decent week, and then I came back in December. Well, I came back, 2 weeks ago to play the Futures. And when I got there, a gentleman came up to me, introduced himself and said, "You're Jody from Antigua?" I said, "Yeah." And he said, "Okay, like, let's do some work this week." And then he came out to all my matches. Like, he sat to the first match, wrote notes.
Oh, really?
Yeah, wrote notes. And then he came after the match and he said, because I didn't play that well on the first day. And he came up to me, he said, "You had me a little bit scared at the beginning there, but I said, I wrote some notes for you if you want to read it. Like, we can go." But when we had this conversation, it was before my second round qualies. So I said, "Okay, when I finish this match, after you can show me the notes." And then ended up never seeing the notes, but he sat through all of my matches. Like, came every day.
He came to
said
mine
good luck.
too.
He came. Justin and I were practicing. Came on the court. I was practicing. Like, yeah.
And we didn't find out his name till the second week.
He came up to us. He said, "Jody, I realized one thing. What's my name?"
Is that more friendship? That's when it was real friendship or something?
No, but I appreciated that though. I appreciated him like showing interest and coming. It makes me feel good. Like, it doesn't happen often where people remember me from playing before and they come out and they see again. I mean, obviously that shows that I'm doing something right. You know, if people are excited to come and see me play again, so that's nice.
Yeah, that's always nice.
All right.
What's that?
Should we get into the exciting topic now? So.
Don't big it up like that. It might flop.
No, this is exciting. This is exciting to me. This is what I've been waiting for. So, first of all, before we start this, I should say that, so we're going to discuss a few different players and some rankings and some prize money. And this is their singles results and their singles prize money earnings. And we are not, Justin and I did some research earlier into this, and we are not like no official ATP prize money people. So this could be, I think these are accurate numbers, but we're not 100% sure. So I just don't want to get into any trouble. And hopefully the guys that we discuss here understand that we're doing this for educational purposes.
Paint a picture.
Yeah, we're just trying to paint a picture. Exactly.
Yeah.
So the question is, well, I guess it's a request from Blaine from Columbus, one of my teammates in college. He said, "Can I discuss earnings as a pro ranked under 200 in the world and how impossible it is to survive without funding?" So we would have touched on this several times, I'm sure, over the last few weeks about this stuff. But like I said, we did some research today. So I guess we can start at number 400 in the world, Giovanni Oradini. He played for Mississippi State. So to give you perspective, again, he's ranked 400 in the world. So far, his highest win of the year came against number 311, Timo Stadler. And this year, he's earned through 16 tournaments. He's played 8 challengers and 8 futures, and he's earned just under $5,000 in singles. So I don't know, like I said, I don't know what his doubles prize money earnings are. It could be better, it could be worse. I don't know. We didn't look, but this is all the singles results. So 400 in the world would have made around $5,000 for the year. And of that 5,000, 2,000 of it came from 1 week when he finaled a 25K in Italy. The next level up would be number 301 this week is Evan sitting to my right.
Big dog.
Round of applause. And his highest win for the year, is Rinky the highest win, or is he probably just the most notable win because he won the Australian Open doubles?
I think the highest, yeah.
Probably the highest.
Yeah.
What, like 115 or so at the time?
Yeah, just outside the top 100. Evan, I think when he played him, Evan was ranked in the 200s, right? Maybe 280, 290, something like that.
Yeah.
Anyway, so Evan played 11 challenges and 2 ATP 250s, and his career earning I mean, his year earnings so far is just under $15,000 in singles, and of that 15,000, the highest was $3,500 roughly for the last round qualies in Delray. So already you can see from Oradini to Evan. So Oradini played 8 futures, 8 challenges, made $5,000. And we chose these guys because they're ranked around the cut, like 200, 300, 400. And these players played a significant amount of tournaments for the year. So it's not like these players had irregular schedules. These are common schedules. When they did decently, they had decent results. So the level up from 8 challenges, 8 futures to 11 challenges and 2 ATPs is a $10,000 difference already. And so this, I guess, the point so far would show that Evan has played mostly challenges and 250s, and his prize money for the year is only $15,000. And then the next level up is 199, and I'm going to butcher this name, Antoine Escoffier.
Actually, perfect pronunciation.
Good?
I think.
Pretty
I'm
good?
not French, but that sounded pretty good to me.
Pretty good.
He is.
So he's ranked 199, and his highest win came over Max Purcell this year. And Max Purcell, I think, is top 100 now. And he's made $43,000 for the year, and he's played 11 challenges and 1 slam. So of the $43,000, $26,000 came from the Australian Open.
First round loss in qualies?
First round call is lost in Australian Open,
Yeah.
yes. So this is a person that's played all challenges and 1 slam, and the prize money difference now is about $30,000 more than what Evan was, 100 spots difference in the ranking. So it's a pretty drastic increase, and also for him, over half of his earnings came from the slam.
One event.
Yeah, 1 event. So all the other 11 was the other half of, around $20,000, which is more closer to what Evan would have made at
For
a
sure.
100 spot difference. So far, is there anything that anyone wants to say, like to take away from what we just read with those numbers? And we also have one more going up. We can continue to go up, but we should discuss this first before we even continue to go up.
Evan, you okay? Yeah. So it's clear to see that there's a lot of probably they're more consistent probably in their results. Is why they have higher ranking, but the level gap isn't crazy between, let's say, somebody 400, 300, and 200, and your ability to earn a living changes drastically just between 200 ranking spots. So yeah, I mean, it shows the cutthroat side of the sport.
Yeah.
Where
To back your point, Evans 300 can play Oradini first round next week. What's your view on that match? Like if you come up against someone 400?
Yeah, you gotta bring your best, pretty much. I mean, everyone can play.
gonna be a good match.
Yeah, it's gonna be a tough match. Yeah.
And I don't think you see it that differently than playing someone your ranking, and maybe someone 199 you see it a little bit different, like because his ranking is higher than yours, but you don't see that you have no chance in these matches. You compete. Like I said, you've beaten players higher ranked than Escoffier for the year.
The truth is too, like for Evan's situation, it could literally be one good week and he's where Escoffier is if he
Correct.
wins a challenger or wins a challenger and goes deep in another one. So like your life can change in this sport in a week or 2 weeks. Or if Evan for whatever reason went to Delray, qualified and made semis or whatever, he would be in a different position than he is right now. And he's not a different person. It's not like he's, you know what I mean? It's still Evan. So it's
in Escoffier's situation, so let's say, and like I said, I don't know him, so I don't want to, wish good or bad on him. I'm just saying hypothetically, right? Hypothetically, let's say his ranking stays around the same. So he would play at least first round qualies at all the slams.
mm-hmm.
He's going to earn that $26,000 around roughly
4 times
this year. And his ranking spots compared to Evan's career high is about 60 spots, 70 spots higher than what Evan was.
Yeah.
And if Evan played this schedule ranked around 300, and let's say he stays 300 for the rest of the year, Evan will play no slams. So judging by the $15,000 that he's made so far for the year, you multiply that by about, four times for the rest of the year. So That's 60K compared to how much Escoffier would make. So
Probably like around
it's
200. Yeah.
correct. So it shows just how different 60, 70 spots at that level from between like 200 to 300.
Yeah, it makes a huge difference.
It's a huge difference. So, and I think that they tried in the past maybe year and a half to adjust things. Like I'm sure at the slams, first round qualies in the slams wasn't $26,000 in the past.
Money's definitely gone up at the highest level.
Yeah.
It's just, I think, money went up at the highest level and the lowest level, but they never really adjusted the challenger level, I don't think, in terms of prize money.
I don't know that much about that. I know that at least they try to make it on the road. When you're on the road in the Challenger Tour, you have least expenses.
That's true. They added the hospitality for the hotels and accommodation.
Correct. Should we go one level up to show perspective?
Sure.
So 100 in the world is Alexandre Mueller.
Not a French one, huh?
Yep, I probably didn't say that right. And his highest win for the year came over number 21, Musetti. And he's made $113,000 for the year. He's played 8 challengers, 1 slam, 3 250s, and 2 Masters 1000s. And his highest earning for the year was $55,000 in the finals of Morocco. So I guess what this shows now is that when you get to roughly top 100 in the world, then you can consider yourself. I mean, obviously money is relative to other sports. Maybe this is not that much money compared to the 100th best football player and stuff. But now this is where probably guys get a little comfortable. Now they can, travel with their full teams and that sort of stuff. But even then, like he's played 100 in the world. He's played 8 challenges for the year.
He's going to play a lot of challenges. I think he played probably last year mostly challenges.
Correct.
Yeah, so... But if he keeps this kind of form, he's going to probably make at least around $500,000 this year, which is a huge step up from anybody on that.
I was surprised, actually. Like, I remember when we first pulled up his name today, I was assuming, like, yeah, for sure, this man just plays slams, masters, all ATP events. And you were saying, like, no, he's played mostly challenges. Like, no way.
Because there are a lot of guys, I think, who hover, like, let's say, 80 to, 150, whatever, that make the most of their points in challenges.
Yeah.
And they make their money in the ATPs or the slams, but I think they just do very well week in, week out at challenges, and that's how they stay up in that ranking. Yeah,
and then they have their handful of big events that they can really like the slams or the masters, where they can really come and get a big check.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, I think that's probably why it's so important that these guys are healthy around those weeks of the year. Like maybe the US swing, when there's like, what is it, Cincinnati and Toronto, and then US Open like within a month. Yeah. It's like 2 Masters and the Slam within like a month and a half, something like that.
Definitely prioritize those times of the year.
Yeah. It's interesting. And then, obviously, if we go back down to go down the rankings, so number 400 made $5,000. So I'm sure you can imagine.
Around 20K, and
I'm sure you can imagine what happens when you go to 5, 6, 7, 8. You
9.
You know what I mean?
And you still gotta pay for all the flights, the hotels, the coach, everything.
Yeah.
So
when it goes back to support system,
very important.
Mueller and Escoffier probably have the resources to travel with their support system a little bit more than we can.
For sure.
Yeah. What was I gonna say? I don't know. Yeah, I think the accommodation thing in the challenges was a big difference, but I don't know, like, what would be the next step to making a real difference. Like, I guess partly one of the things that I want to do with this podcast is basically show people the difference between number 400, 301, 199, and 100. The difference between these guys in level to each other is really not that far. Mm-hmm. So maybe they have a little bit more consistent results. But if you see Orodini train with Evan tomorrow, or Evan train with Escoffier, or Escoffier train with Mueller tomorrow,
you wouldn't really know.
You wouldn't know how different these guys are, So, yeah, it's really cutthroat, and it's very different compared to a lot of the other sports.
For sure.
Do you know how golf is? I don't know how golf works because it's another individual sport. So
I don't want to act like I know either.
Yeah, let's not be fake on the podcast. Yeah. We can do some research and get someone to talk about it next week. All right, should we wrap up the last point, or is anything else to say on this one?
The only thing I would want to say is, I don't know the percentages, but doesn't tennis have like the lowest percentage of prize money paid to the players that they.
I
I've
think
heard that.
I think they had. I remember a couple years ago when we were in around COVID, there was a big deal with the amount of profit at the slams coming back to
Like
the
7% to
players.
each.
Yeah, it was like less than 10% of the profit
which
made at the
was a lot
slams.
lower than a lot of other sports.
Yeah,
But I don't know. I think.
happens.
Oh, this is what I was gonna say. I think, like, the product, I think, of tennis players. So like Evan Zhu as a brand, I think can improve, right? So Evan at 300 in the world is booking his own flights, is posting his own stuff on social media. He's the one who's promoting himself. So when Evan goes next week to whatever, so you're going to Mexico next week. It's not like Evan has a team around him promoting him so that when he gets to Mexico, people are going to come and watch, or sponsors know that Evan's going to be on TV. Like when Evan played, let's say you played Dallas, the 250. You played Verdasco last round qualies indoors at the 250, full crowd, everyone was going crazy. Maybe in a situation like that, someone would be like, hey, how about you wear this on your sleeve? Or how about you wear this on your hat or something? So this is where I think our level can improve. Like someone at 300, 400, 500, whatever. I mean, I'm sure at some point it doesn't become marketable, but in my opinion, the level is still very high, and we don't do a good job. Well, I don't even want to say we, because we're the players, but we need to figure out a way to better market ourselves and show people that number 300 in the world, 400 in the world are very good tennis players. As you can see, the prize money is a lot different, but if we show Oradini at 400 beat someone Evan's ranking this year, Evan at 300 beat someone at Escoffier, Escoffier beat someone at Mueller's ranking. So like the level is very close, but the prize money is a lot different. And this is just prize money earnings based on their results. This is not even sponsorships and stuff. So I'm sure these guys would have, more money from the individual sponsors that actually would keep them afloat, because I don't know, $43,000 for the year to play 12 tournaments is, I feel like is, I don't know, maybe it's just staying above, staying afloat really. And this is for someone 200 in the world. So
world-class tennis player.
Correct.
Yeah.
So yeah. All right. Last question. What are the pre-match routines like for you, Justin? This is another one from Xavi from Barbados.
Pre-match routines. So usually, I think the morning of the match, I will write down, let's say, a match script, or like what I'm looking for myself in the match, how I want to play, what I'm going to focus on. And then I would say maybe like 15 minutes before the match, I would kind of disconnect from other people. I would just put my headphones in, throw the music on.
Yo, that is not 15 minutes before the match. You stay with headphones in at tournaments all the time.
But that's different reasons.
Yo, this man will come on a podcast and talk all day, but then he goes to a tournament, he's locked in, not talking to anybody.
Anyway, but I would, in my mind, for what I believe is focusing, I would start focusing like 15, 20 minutes before. And it would just be getting the rackets done, try to put on the music I like. So I listen to usually dancehall music, try to get in a certain vibe. And then, just do like a dynamic warm-up. And I have like a couple of shadow swings or movements I like to make that I think I make on the court a lot. And then, I usually pray before I go on the court, and then we'll see what happens when I step into the arena.
Do you have any pre-match superstitions?
Nah, I don't believe in that stuff. I used to. I feel like when I was young,
What was it?
I would think about everything. Like I used to think about like where my bag was on the court. I used to think about like how many sips I took of water, or
What?
like if I step over the line, or if I step on the line. But then I started to like compete with myself and be like, have a little bit more like confidence in your own abilities. Like,
And it's not where you put your bag that determines your match.
where the
Him
bag
touching
or
the
the
lines
racket
or
is
not
doesn't
is not
make you
gonna
win
make
or
a
lose. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like it should be that you trained hard, that you have some sort of talent, some sort of skill. So I, like a few years back, decided I was gonna go against those things. Not like purposely. Like I'm not gonna have any routines. But
Was this when we were in Texas?
it started before that.
Okay.
I think like I don't know exactly when it started, but I just knew that there was a point especially when I was younger, where I started to overthink like the minutia of things, like the dumbest things. Like I don't know. It got crazy at a point.
Taylor made an interesting point to us about like maybe not superstitions, but like muscle memory.
Yeah.
Do you remember? Like he said, like it's something. The superstitions is also something to focus on that distracts you from
Depression
and all this
things,
stuff. Yeah, so
sure.
that's partly why. But the bad thing about that is when it becomes muscle memory, then
I
you don't
guess
think of it anymore.
the
So now you're
difference
doing the
is-
things and you're not thinking of it,
The
and it's
difference
not really
is like,
benefiting from it.
do you do it if you win or lose? So like the things that I always do, like before I serve, like I get four ball bounces, or
I do 3.
yeah. You know, like there are things that I always do, whether I'm winning or losing. That's more routine. That's more for my focus, more for me to like, I guess, get into like a flow state or zone. But like me thinking about eating the same meal at dinner every night is not conducive to me. I think being a healthy-minded tennis player in my mind, because I don't want to like think about my towel in the bathroom when I took a shower, and you know what I mean.
But me personally,
This man will eat a burger every night.
Do you do that? If you
it's not super strict, but I'm like, if I have to choose between something, and it's like for dinner, if I choose between something, I'm fine eating the same thing I did last night, and I won that day. Sorry.
You gotta beat that up for the
Yeah,
clip. Beat that.
sorry. But screw it. I'll just get the same thing.
But I understand the
The
argument
chicken
there,
palm. This man will
because-
crush chicken palm every night.
because
chicken
then there's
palm.
like what do they call it? Like you remove having to make a decision, which is nice too. You don't want to be overthinking everything, but I like to live a little bit more free. Like I don't like to be in my head about, like, let's say I had a burger 2 nights in a row and I won twice.
Yeah.
Then I switch it up. I don't want to be like, oh shoot, now 'cause I didn't eat a
Here
burger.
we go.
Gotta
Here comes
have-
You know
trouble.
what I mean? So I try to just do what I feel like is good for me on the day.
Yeah.
You pre-match routines or superstitions?
Match. I wouldn't say I'm superstitious. Just if it comes up, and I can make the same choice again, and it doesn't bother me, I'll make the same choice again. But pre-match, I mean, obviously just like a 30-minute hit, light hit.
30 minutes is long. You don't hit 30
Yeah,
minutes.
25.
No, but he'll hit 30 minutes, but then we take like a 5-minute water break just to chop it up on the sidelines.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
I feel like warming up before it wasn't 30 minutes. I feel like we hit, at least me, like my match is like
No, keep
15
it
minutes.
short.
I hit for like 15 minutes maybe. Yeah.
But yeah, recently I've been trying to hit a little have more time in between my hits
Yeah,
and my
me too.
match.
I like to chill. It's nice to like.
Yeah. Especially
relax
at
a
some of
second.
these ATPs, hit early, like shower, like get
Oh,
everything.
you're
Like,
professional now.
yeah,
huh?
yeah.
That's what Jordan said he was taught. Like he was taught to hit a few hours early, then shower, change, maybe have your pre-match meal, relax,
that's
and
nice.
then have a little dynamic one before you go
I
on.
did start a new thing this year.
I did
where
that too.
I always put like, if I can't shower, there's no shower, I will put on fresh clothes.
Yeah,
everything
me
fresh.
too.
I never used to do that. I used to just like hit, change my shirt, and go play.
Yeah, no, now I, especially since I sweat a lot too, I do that every time. Like in
Yeah.
Trinidad, I do that every time. Like I
I
played
do
at 2 o'clock. I was yet warming up by 11:30, eat lunch.
Mm.
Like after I warm up, I change everything, eat lunch, relax.
Not to feel rushed.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
nice. Yeah.
Superstitions? You have superstitions.
I mean, not like.
You just said if it comes
Yeah.
up,
Dog,
If
this
it
man will go back and touch the fence with his racket
Oh
all the
yeah,
time.
I mean that's just kind
That's
of like
routine.
routine though. Yeah.
If you win or
I'll
lose,
just,
you win.
yeah, I'll just go back to the fence, touch the fence. Try
You
and
ever seen
reset.
Evan do this one where like he's playing, practicing or something, and the hat comes off? He just like back fence. You ever seen that one?
I haven't
I've seen
done
a
that
racket fly
recently.
once.
Yeah, because
In
you rocked the
Texas.
man bun, no hat. That's why.
During COVID, we had one practice session. He ripped the racket to the fence.
No, it's not the
I
racket. It's the
didn't do
hat.
that.
It's not the racket. It's the hat. When the hat goes off and
That
flies
was
to the
the
back
racket,
fence.
dog. I was there.
No. I'm saying that when this man takes the hat off and throws it perfectly to the back fence, then you know you're in trouble. This man is
Yeah.
about to level up.
What's your routine for the matches?
Yeah, my routine, like I said, I just I like to hit now when possible a few hours early,
Mm.
then change, relax. I like to be what I realized recently. I like to have fun, like just be loose talk. So if I'm playing backgammon or just listening to music, chilling, talking, like I like to be calm, and then maybe 20 minutes before the match starts, then provided I have everything ready. Like I'll have all my rackets, all my shoes, like my shoes, rackets, everything ready to play. So like around 20 minutes in, I just tie my shoes, then I'll head out.
You go on the court with music in your ear still, or?
I don't think so, because when I was in Trinidad, I had music playing out loud on my phone. I didn't even have in headphones. I didn't even have in headphones.
Who do you think you are?
Yo, in Trinidad, we went to play doubles. Nikkei and I walked on the court. Our opponents walked on the court, and we had to wait 20 minutes for the referees to come.
Yeah, happens.
20 minutes.
It's part of it.
Yeah.
Which is fun. And superstitions, any?
I don't think so.
Yeah,
There was a moment in time where I was like stepping over lines and stuff, but I don't think that was superstition. I was just...
But that's what it
Just
be.
being weird.
Yeah, I was just being weird. Exactly. I don't think there was any specific rhyme or reason to why I was doing that. You noticed that, actually.
Yeah, because you started like taking like a lunge, or like you would like slow down and then step. I was like, what is man doing?
Yeah, I don't know what I was doing. But I don't think I do that anymore.
I haven't noticed it since you stopped caring about.
No, but that was even before.
No.
That was even before, yeah. Anyway,
That's it.
we had a long episode today. Look at that, 45 minutes around, I think. So, anyway, if you guys like the content, give us a like and a share on
Comment.
on YouTube. And yeah, this week it was the boys because Zeke bailed. But anyway, it was better without him. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. We'll have Zeke next week,
I got a
hopefully.
haircut and everything. I was ready for a big episode. Man, didn't even show up.
We had a big episode.
Cold.
Now we have nothing to talk about next week. So send some questions in for Zeke.
Zeke Clark.
Yeah, follow us on Instagram, on YouTube, on TikTok, Facebook, Twitter, everything. And share with everyone. I thought today was an interesting discussion. So if you guys thought today was...
Hopefully you agree.
Yeah, hopefully you agree. And if you do, send it to the necessary parties that would be interested as well.
Yeah, it helps a lot.
How's that for closing? Did good?
Yeah.
All right. Thanks for watching. See y'all next week. Boom. One take. This guy, huh?
One take, boys. One.